This is SoundOff, Louisiana's premier television sports show. Coming to you from Sportsbook at L'Auberge Lake Charles. Here are the guys, Rick, Scooter, and Kevin.
Lights, camera, action.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I hope you're in store, because get ready. We got some fabulous television entertainment.
Got a lot happening tonight, Rick.
SoundOff style coming to you from the Sportsbook at L'Auberge. SoundOff, of course,
Yes.
brought to you by L'Auberge Casino Resort. That would be Kevin Guidry, Rick Serro
Always.
here, Scooter Hobbs on injured reserve.
Look to have him back soon.
You know, we're going to have him back hopefully very, very soon. We'll
Yes.
keep you abreast of that. All right, great show, busy show, good program coming up. LSU weekend
Lot
spring
tonight.
game, we'll get some thoughts on that. Special
Pretty
guest
interesting.
coming up a little bit later on in the show. That would be McNeese's new football chief of staff, recruiting coordinator, Aaron Ingram.
First time on show.
First time, well, he was on Tuesday's show.
Yes.
But you're right, first appearance on
Yes.
SoundOff
Yes.
to talk about
Glad to have him.
transfers, recruiting, and the portal. I
So
call him
much.
the prince
So
of the
much,
portal.
man.
News on a new quarterback for the McNeese Cowboys. You and I are going to
Big
get into
time
that
news.
very, very shortly. And, of course, quarterback, my favorite subject,
Yes.
Jalen Daniels. How will he transition to the NFL? Will it be tough, easy, or what? And can this quarterback class coming up?
I've got my answer.
Think about this. There are two Heisman Trophy winners in this quarterback draft. Can it any shape or form match 1983 Elway, Marino, and Kelly? Think about that.
You know, that was
That's just a tease.
That is a tease, but that's a good question, Rick.
1983, considered the greatest quarterback
is.
draft ever.
That is.
All right.
That is.
Gary Goff told a small assembly of media after the final spring scrimmage, and kind of off to the side,
Yeah.
I got to go out to the portal and bring an experienced
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah.
That was eye-opening, because
Well,
he knew Alex Flores, and in particular Cam Sixkiller,
Yeah.
good young guys, got some potential. It ain't going to work
The
for
pressure.
this season.
The pressure.
Either got to win now.
The pressure.
And they got it. Montana starting quarterback transferred
If he-
in, Clifton McDowell.
If he is as advertised, Rick, it's going to be interesting.
He took the Grizzlies
Okay.
to the FCS
Yeah.
National Championship game. They did lose 23-3 to South Dakota State. 6'4", 235.
That's a big kid,
dual
man.
threat. Rushed for like 700 yards last year on, 160 carries. Threw for about 2,900 yards. Not a lot of touchdowns, 4 picks. The numbers are eye-popping.
Yeah.
The numbers, what's eye-popping is 11-1 as a starter.
And Rick, you know what? The thing
He
is
won
this,
games
Rick,
from Montana.
if you can put him in a position, Rick, to where he can make that offense work to his advantage, because right now you can pose that threat of running on any defense right
You've
now.
been screaming for a dual quarterback
Rick,
threat.
that's what it's going to take to run this
For like
type
20
offense.
years for
You've
this
got to
program.
have it, Rick. I'm not expecting anybody to be a Jaden Daniels, but look, when you have that type of threat, do you see what you can do to defenses?
Joe
You gotta
Burrow
guess
won
him.
a national championship, but he didn't run all
Joe
that.
could run.
He could
Joe
run,
could
but he
run.
ain't no dual threat.
No, he ain't no dual threat.
I know,
but
I'm
Joe
being
could run.
facetious.
Joe
I
could
got
run.
you.
But that's the
I
thing
got
that you
you.
got to have.
All
You have
right.
to have that.
What's concerning, and we talked to Aaron Ingram about
Yeah.
this, and he had a good response. What's concerning about Clifton McDowell? I don't know the young man.
None of
I
us
wish
do.
him well.
None of us do.
But he's a well-traveled young man.
He is.
UL Lafayette, Central Arkansas, junior college in Texas. Went to Montana when they needed a quarterback. Ended up transferring out of Montana after last season, 11-1 as a starter. Goes to Temple, decides not to go with Temple, goes down to Prairie View for a cup of coffee, and now he signs with McNeese. Is that concerning at all to you?
To a degree, you know what? But this is when the vetting process has to work.
Could be a very good reason for
It has to work.
You know?
And for them to bring him here, apparently what was told or what was heard may not have been that big of a concern.
Okay.
Maybe,
All
you
right.
know, it's sometimes, Rick, honestly, Rick, you just have certain players that function good around certain people.
Well, clearly he wants to,
And-
clearly McDowell, and I'm not speaking for him, this is just me and my opinion, clearly he's looking for a perfect landing spot
Yeah.
for his last final season.
And Rick, a lot of times.
And this is the age we live in. He wants NIL money.
Yeah.
And McNeese is generating NIL
They are.
money.
They are.
And they need a
They
good,
are.
experienced
And Rick,
quarterback.
you know what?
They're going to pay this young man NIL money.
They're going to have to, Rick.
Okay.
Okay, we understand that now.
Okay, all right.
And Rick, when you look at it, you know, sometimes players, when I say players, they want to be around systems that they feel best fit them.
Okay.
Because it'll be to their advantage, Rick. I don't think he's going to go to a system that's want to make him a drop back quarterback. That doesn't fit what he does, Rick.
I got to see
So
him play.
You've got to. Apparently, he understands what it is that Gary Goff wants to do. And apparently in his mind, he's saying, I can work with that.
Well, he went shopping.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted an air raid offense.
You're not going to go to an offense that wants you to be a drop back quarterback. That doesn't fit what I do, Coach.
Okay.
So, credit Gary Goff. He sold his system to this young man. Let's see. Let's put him to work.
Look, he's not an FBS experienced quarterback.
No.
But that's okay.
No. That's okay, Rick.
I mean, McNeese is coming off 0-10.
0-11.
0-11. Beggars can't be choosy.
No, they can't.
I mean, he is an FCS experience, got 1 year left. He took the Grizzlies. This is Montana. This is big-time FCS football.
That's big time,
He
Rick.
took them to the national title game.
I'm going to applaud Gary Goff. If he can pull this off and put this young man in the system to where he feels comfortable and can make it work to his advantage, my hats off to Gary Goff.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I've said it a month ago.
We've been talking about this,
I will not
Rick.
be hoodwinked.
No.
We're going to see when he gets on the field what he can do.
We've been talking about this, and that's been the biggest problem that McNeese has had for years. We've got to find a quarterback that fits the system that they want to run.
But
if you don't, it's not going to work.
But the caveat is, finally, Goff and the Cowboys, they have somebody that has numbers from games.
Yeah.
He was 11-1. He's got the numbers. You know what I'm saying?
What was there? The pressure was going to be too great for those young men that was there, Rick.
Well,
just too great.
All right, so Flores, the junior college transfer from California, Cam Six, they're going to compete.
They will. They will.
There's nothing wrong with sitting and learning.
It's good to have that. It's good to have that, Rick.
No doubt. No doubt.
And
look, Six Killer had some good things last year as a 2-game starter. He can learn if he gets thrown into more experience. I think it's great for everybody. All right, the Max Bar and Grill in Westlake. Perfect for a business lunch or family dinner, open 7 days a week with a full menu of your favorites from Southwest Louisiana. Gather your friends for some R&R at the Max Bar for your favorite drinks and live sports. Don't forget weekend brunches at the Max.
Story worth telling? It starts with Getaways, specializing in me time. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Escapes to soak the day away. And rounds on a course designed by Tom Fazio. Start a story all your own at Le Berge Lake Charles.
There's nothing better than a game and great tasting Miller Lite. It's less filling than Miller Lite. Tastes great.
Never understood this argument. Let it be both. Miller and Miller. I like it.
What are you doing with the Johnson sofa?
They had a pipe break. Water leaked all over.
Really?
I'm a Roto-Rooter plumber.
Really?
We do water cleanup, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup.
Locally owned Roto-Rooter of Southwest Louisiana does it all. Plumbing, drain cleaning, and water cleanup.
We're the attorneys Southwest Louisiana has known and trusted for decades. We fought relentlessly for our clients and won. We are proud to announce a new name based on our legacy of success. We are Lundy Law. The name may be new, but our team's commitment to pursuing justice for our clients has never been stronger. From personal injury and maritime cases to insurance claims, mass tort, and civil litigation, you can count on the experienced attorneys at Lundy Law.
What's bugging you? Is it termites? The season is now and they are swarming. At J&J Exterminating, we offer some very effective weapons against infestation of your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Don't wait. Contact us now for a free inspection.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
We're back at the Sportsbook at Le Berge. SoundOff, presented by Lundy Law of Lake Charles, of course, also presented by Roto-Rooter of Southwest Louisiana. Give them a call for your water cleanup and plumbing services, and Le Berge Casino Resort, of course. Let's welcome back McNeese, Chief of Staff of Football, Recruiting Coordinator. Aaron Ingram joins us again.
Does everything.
You did well earlier in the week. Counterpunch like a pro. I went at him with some kidney shots. He counterpunched.
Get out of here,
They
man.
told me I had to come in ready for you.
I want the meat and potatoes,
I'm
man. We got to
impressed.
find out how this is going to work.
I'm
Okay?
impressed.
It's time. It's time.
All
We
right.
got to find out.
Roster management, recruiting, and a number of other things. All right, we're going to get into some of the meat and potatoes. I got to ask you, though. You're coming here from Ball State.
Yep.
McNeese is coming off 0-10.
0-11. Let's keep it real.
I mean,
Right?
Why? I mean, what brought you?
Well,
where do you live?
Aaron, you don't count that forfeit? Is that forfeit a win?
No, I'm kissing your sister.
I'm going 0-10. I'm leaving it up to the man.
Right? Where do you live?
I live in Southwest Louisiana. I live in Lake Charles.
You live in Lake Charles?
Yes, I do, sir.
That answers a lot.
Okay, all right, I got it. I got it.
But you know what, though? I'll be honest with you, right? This process started in late November with them. I had a very good, long-standing relationship with the offensive coordinator, Adam Neubauer.
Yeah.
Knew a couple other guys that worked for me before when I ran USA Football's national team side and coaching and did all that. I had some really good connections and some guys, and they told me all about it. It's one of those logos, though, man. You know what I mean? When you see the logo, you know it, right? You know there's certain logos you know in the country. It's a dominantly historical program. You know the logo, and so all of a sudden you have these conversations. You go home, you look at the wife in the eye, and you kind of have that talk. And hey, they recruited me too. Trust me, I never knew Gary Goff. I never knew it. I've actually we know so many of the same people. It's kind of crazy. Every week we're still saying, hey, I heard my boy called me another. It's crazy the connections that he and I have together, and it's been quite a marriage so far.
Good. I look at it and I say to myself, you know, the McNeese program in years past, you know, we've always wanted, when you had your Stephen Storms, you had your Kerry Joseph, you had people that you know could be game changers.
Correct.
And you're naming quarterbacks, but they've had All-Americans after All-Americans after All-Americans, all across the board.
Got one right now.
And I'm
Mike Davis.
Mike
Davis is an All-American.
I'm just saying, do you see those days of how McNeese used to be here in the community, people talking about it, people want, I guess let me just get to the point, Aaron. How do you put people in those stands?
You know,
that's my point.
You know what's great? You know what's told me on that question is I talked to Will Wade, right? Will told me, Aaron, this is great. This is a football town.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He says, this is a football town. He tells it to me once a week. Aaron, this is a football town. Aaron, this is a football town. Everybody tells it to me. My first week here, I had no McNeese gear on. I pumped gas. I had this lady drive by the gas station, roll down her window and scream, "Go Pokes!" and threw the gun up.
She already knew who you were.
She knew. And I looked around and I said, who's she talking to? You know, I said, she's talking to me.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a football town. You know what I mean? These people want to win. They know what the history is.
Oh, they do.
Right? They know. They remember you, right?
They do.
And they want it more than anything. That's where you got to do it. Plus, if you can do it in the South, you can do it anywhere, right?
I'll tell you, Aaron.
Why not do it here?
I went to several practices and some spring games, in particular the spring scrimmages, we'll call them that.
Good.
And I watched you, and I found it interesting that you were walking around on the field with a pad and maybe a pen or something. You seem like, I'm asking you, were you out there, were you evaluating, and were you looking at personnel groupings?
I'm looking at everything.
I mean, you look like a general manager out there.
That's what this title kind of is nowadays. College changed now. You know,
LSU has one. A lot of the teams in the SEC are getting them.
One of my very, very close friends, he's gotten out of the business now. He was the first general manager in college football at University of Arizona, Matt Dudek. I give a lot of credit to him. We've stayed close friends over the course of him even getting out, and he kind of helped guide me along this path. And he's the one who convinced me, man, this is built for you. And that's it. You know what I mean? While I was walking, I don't care. I'll see everything. I want to see how you're tying your shoes, how you're dressing. Everything matters. Everything matters. And it's a detailed business, and the details carry over. Everything carries over. How everybody tucks their shirts in, those things carry over to Saturdays.
But are you looking at how the Mike linebacker plays his gap, and will you go back to some of the position coaches?
I watch practice every night on film, not just there. I've coached, I'm not going to tell you how old I really am, but I'm 51 years old. I've coached my whole life. I got to a point in time where the recruiting side, I started having a lot of success, and it became a drug for me in a lot of ways, and I have a lot of fun doing it. I have a lot of fun building the roster. I have a lot of fun with Coach Goff, the way we're handling things, and the plan that he and I have put together for recruiting and the staff with the youthfulness. I see everything. I watch all sides of the ball in practice. I watch all the games from last year multiple times. He's called me on Sundays, hey, where are you at? Hey, I'm in the office watching the Alcorn game from last year.
Let me ask you a question, Aaron. Rick and I evaluated a lot of the games on last year with the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't take very long.
As a former coach, as a past coach, you've got games that, correct me if I'm wrong, don't you have coaches that's supposed to win certain games?
100%.
Even by what's on the field?
Now, when you say
win certain games.
And let
that's
me
on
be
paper,
clear on that.
right?
Yeah. You know, it's just that there are some games where coaches can say the staff won this game without players.
Well,
Just
I see where you're
even
going,
when
yeah.
I played, there were games when we outcoached the other team. Hell, I didn't have to do that much because of the defenses we called.
Schemes, decisions.
They were done.
Okay.
That's right.
So,
no doubt.
Is that something that's going to play a part into what happens this year for us, for how the Cowboys participate?
You know, the one thing that I look at always is there's actually two things, right? And this is how I live my life. It's pretty fun. You can ask my wife. I don't care about too much else. That's why my house looks the way it is. She handles everything. I care about horses and jockeys. That is it, man.
That's it.
Nothing else matters.
That's it, man.
Horses
That's it.
and then jockeys.
That's it.
And I am all about that. Trust me, you can ask our staff. I'm all over them about the little things every day, but the horses is what matters.
You cannot win the Kentucky Derby on a donkey.
No, you cannot. You can't. You can't. And then if you look at it now, the one thing that I knew it was a special place. I got here and quote-unquote interviewed on the Sunday before early signing day, right?
Really?
I thought, well, okay, this is real crazy doing this and being a recruiting guy at Ball State at the time. Signing day, my phone's going crazy with Ball State stuff and McNeese stuff at the same time. Brought in 29 then. We've brought in a total of 42 new players, plus others that have currently signed. You're going to end up with over 55, 60 almost new players.
A lot of new talent.
A lot of new horses.
And you're a new guy, too.
A lot of new horses.
We appreciate you coming.
Hey,
We're going to do this again
man.
down later in the summer.
Anytime.
Aaron Ingram.
Thanks.
We're the attorneys Southwest Louisiana has known and trusted for decades. We fought relentlessly for our clients and won. We are proud to announce a new name based on our legacy of success. We are Lundy Law. The name may be new, but our team's commitment to pursuing justice for our clients has never been stronger. From personal injury and maritime cases to insurance claims, mass tort, and civil litigation, you can count on the experienced attorneys at Lundy Law.
J&J Exterminating is here for you with our water damage sanitation treatments and wood protective boree treatments. There is no charge for home evaluations. Contact your local J&J Exterminating professional.
Hey, mister, are you a Roto-Rooter plumber?
Guilty.
Did you fix what flooded my house?
Sure did.
Toilet overflow?
Nope.
Pipe break?
Getting warmer.
Busted water heater?
Nailed it.
How long can you hold your breath? Is that your real hair? What's the birds and the bees? Do you know where my grandma is?
You know, I don't know.
What's next?
Wrapping up the water cleanup.
You do that too?
We do both.
Fair enough.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
Locally owned Roto-Rooter of Southwest Louisiana does it all. Plumbing, drain cleaning, and water cleanup.
What's bugging you? Is it termites? The season is now and they are swarming. At J&J Exterminating, we offer some very effective weapons against infestation of your home or business. Let us take care of what's bugging you. Don't wait. Contact us now for a free inspection.
We're back. Sportsbook at LaBear's. Thanks for hanging with us here at SoundOff. Many thanks to Aaron Ingram, McNeese Cowboy football chief of
great
staff,
guy, great
GM,
interview.
director of, I'm going to call him the Prince of the Port.
He's everything. He's got some titles.
Let me tell you, that's a full-time job watching over that.
There's no
crazy
doubt about
thing.
that.
We're going to have Aaron on
Full-time it
again because there were like, I don't know,
We will.
a dozen other subjects and topic matters with recruiting and the transfer portal
Yes.
that I wanted to get into. We ran out of time.
That's no doubt.
All right, Mr. Guidry.
Yes.
You were down in Baton Rouge. You were
Yes.
mucking with Brian Kelly
Trying to
and
see what my Tigers look like.
all
Just
your
trying
big
to
purple
see
and gold.
What my Tigers look like.
LSU alumni,
Yeah,
L Club.
everybody
Mr.
was there.
Mr. Kingpin there. All right. What was your takeaway? You didn't get much from the spring game.
No,
I mean,
no.
Alabama puts 100,000. You know, I heard Penn State had like 68,000 people show up for a spring
big.
game. It's
It
crazy.
is big.
LSU
we may have
people
had 30,000. That was it.
Yeah. All right. So
But
what
look,
was your big takeaway?
work in progress.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not.
That's
gonna,
a cop out, but okay.
Yeah, I'm not jumping head over heels. There was some concerns that I saw in the secondary, but I'm just going to say maybe some of the guys there were just new, that didn't understand what it is that Corey Raymond is trying to do and everything. But you know, the offense for a couple times popped them deep. Yeah. And you know, on both sides. But the defense, I have bigger concerns for the defense, mostly that defensive line, Rick.
Oh, it's scary.
It bothers
scary.
me. And Perkins, they're going to have to figure out Perkins is going to be an edge rusher. This guy, you know, people keep wanting to put him in the eyes of Devin White. You're not a Devin White. No. Let it go. Let it go. Let this kid be an edge rusher and let him wreak havoc on offenses from the edge. We've got to find inside linebackers
He can drop
that
in
are
coverage,
athletic.
too.
Yes,
He
he
can drop in coverage.
But we've got to find middle linebackers, Rick, that are going to be athletic as those will backers to be able to move, man. Nowadays, Rick, if you're an inside linebacker, you've got to have good feet.
I'll tell you, Greg.
Or you will get embarrassed.
Greg Penn, who didn't have a great season last year, he's got to really bounce back. The other linebacker, he's got to bounce back.
Now, Weeks is going to be good.
Earlier in the week on Tuesday's show, we ran out of time, didn't get on the receivers, but Kyron Lacey is going to be their number one.
Lacey's going to be the go-to guy.
Chris Hilton, I think, is probably number 2. And again, it's going to be a lot of young guys by committee, right?
And the thing that we talked about, Rick, and you
but LSU is receiver U now, man.
Always.
They're receiver U.
Hopefully it'll come back. But like we talked earlier, we're still looking for that third down back. Now, we've got some running backs that look decent. You know, a lot of guys that
Mini
ran
Bo, Caleb Jackson.
North and South type runner. He's not going to slash or make you miss enough like that. But we need that third down back, Rick, that can get that 3rd and 7, that 3rd and 5. That's what we need, man.
All right, let's get on the NFL draft couple of weeks. Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Surprised everybody, man. Surprised everybody.
I think he's going to go number 2 to Washington Commanders. I think Caleb Williams is going to go 1 to Chicago. I'm not convinced that Washington is that bad of a place for him. New ownership, they've got a lot of money, a lot of draft capital. A defensive head coach, I get it, but I think there could be worse places. You're not convinced?
I agree, Rick. But Washington,
it's not the Dan Snyder Washington Commanders.
They've been struggling, Rick, for a number of years, man.
I know they have. Snyder ran them in the ground.
You just want to put a kid in a position to where, Rick, a lot of times, Rick, when you get these young quarterbacks, Rick, if you don't have them with the right teams, Rick, you know that can make or break them.
Of course.
Force their career, Rick.
Okay, so
I mean, if you're not winning, now you become this bad guy because you're not winning. It's not you. Maybe it's the team.
Over half of the top first-round draft picks of quarterbacks in the NFL bomb.
Yes,
they bomb out for various reasons.
Yes.
Maybe they weren't good enough, but a lot of times it's timing and what team you're on.
And Heisman Trophy winners.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yes, no doubt.
So that's what my concern was when they looked at the Commanders as what.
I think he's going to go number 2. I think he's that good. Look,
I think he will, Rick.
I mean, the arm, the accuracy,
the
legs.
It all, Rick. He's got it.
The IQ, the acumen, the toughness, the leadership, the high character, how Jaden Daniels is as a teammate. You saw it at LSU.
No doubt.
And the one thing I just don't hear about that I think is being de-emphasized wrongly is he was a 4-year starter.
He was.
At the top levels of college football. He started for Herm Edwards in Arizona for 2 years. He comes to LSU, the epitome of college football in the SEC. This young man has played a lot of college football. He is an experienced quarterback.
Credit him this, Rick. There were games, Rick, that LSU had won that the defense lost.
Oh, no doubt.
I'm being honest now, guys. And I'm a defensive guy now. Come on. But I got to call a spade a spade. And credit him for that, man.
Yeah.
You know, most teams would have been like, the games that LSU lost, it wasn't because of him.
Look, the biggest knock or concern, he is slight of build. You've been around.
He is.
He's slight.
He is.
He's tall. He's 6'3", probably. Can he get to 220?
Oh,
he gets to 220, but he has to learn to protect himself in the NFL.
And that's I think the biggest concern is he's the type of quarterback that wants to try to get that first down.
He wants to make a play.
When maybe just get out of bounds
or
just slide.
No,
you know, and I think that's got to be coached. That's got to be coached. But I think at LSU, there were times when he had to run because we was playing out of desperation, Rick, and you know that. And I think now in the league, this is your job, Jaden. You don't have to sacrifice yourself, man. This is your job.
Play for another down. Look, the easy comp in the NFL is obvious. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson. Jaden Daniels is a better game.
He's changed his game a lot, too.
Yes, and he's now a better back pocket quarterback.
He is.
But Jaden Daniels coming out of college, he's a better passer than Lamar Jackson was coming out of Louisville.
There is no doubt
about that. And
they're
both Heisman Trophy winners.
There is no doubt about that, Rick.
It's Lamar Jackson. He's the comp.
He is, Rick. He is. And I think Lamar Jackson has realized that, trying to get the first down now in the league is not that important. That's why you pay all these running backs. Let these guys get it now.
I think he'll transition well.
I think he will, Rick.
I think he'll be possible. Depending on what team he goes to, barring a trade, he could be a first-year starter. Jaden Daniels could be a first-year starter.
And I think, Rick, he has the smarts and the know-how to be able to be a pro. Because, when you get these young guys as quarterbacks and stuff, you got to make sure these guys come out of college being a pro because that's what it takes, man. Right. You can't get into the league and grow up. You have to come as a pro, Rick.
Yeah. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. The list goes on. Who am I missing? Michael Pratt, Tulane.
Yeah.
Michael Penix Jr. from Washington.
Quarterbacks. How many quarterbacks is that, man?
You could have 5 quarterbacks go in the top 10. Kevin?
You're right.
1983. John Elway, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly.
That was a big class.
two
That was a big
Heisman
class.
Trophy winners coming out.
That was a big class, man.
Williams and Daniels. Could
Yeah.
this class anyway compare to 1993?
But it's a different
On
time.
expectations.
Rick. Yeah, I can say
This
that.
is
Rick.
all
but Ben, it's a different league now, Rick. You know, it's different now. So you don't really know how that will pan out. But expectations, it could be, Rick.
Well, your guy Elway, you played with.
Yeah.
him. Marino.
That was a big
and Kelly,
class, man.
NFL Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
All
this
of them, Rick.
class
I
will
mean-
have any Hall of Famers, but
Yeah.
expectation-wise,
Should be high, Rick. There's no doubt about that. Should be high.
wow.
I'm
Drake May. I forgot about Drake
Yes.
May.
Yeah,
Now,
yes,
he's kind of
yes,
falling in
yes.
the. He's kind of
He
falling
has,
in the
he
thing
has.
here. I don't know.
But
It's going to be fun.
it
We
is
got
gonna
2
be
more
fun.
weeks to talk about this.
2 more weeks,
I
and it's gonna
think
be here,
Jaden
man.
Daniels is a stud.
Women's WNBA tonight.
He's a stud.
Yes, it is.
Guidry Cerro. This
Always.
is Sound Off on CBS Lake Charles. We'll see you next time, everybody.
Hey, mister, did you fix what flooded my house?
Sure did.
Busted water heater?
Nailed it.
What's next?
Wrapping up the water cleanup.
You do that too?
We do both.
Fair enough.
Call Roto-Rooter for plumbing and water cleanup. Yeah, we do both.
Locally owned Roto-Rooter of Southwest Louisiana does it all. Plumbing, drain cleaning, and water cleanup.
If it's a story worth telling, it starts with Getaways specializing in me time. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Escapes to soak the day away. And rounds on a course designed by Tom Fazio. Start a story all your own at L'Auberge Lake Charles.
There's nothing better than a game and great tasting Miller Lite. It's less filling than Miller Lite. Tastes great.
Never understood this argument. Let it be both. Miller and Miller. I like it.